Good day, everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Glenn Pajares, and in this video, I'll be explaining what ethics is. Ethics is derived from the Greek word ethos, which means customs, traditions, values, virtues, practices, guidelines of behavior or actions and judgments. Basically, these are practices and principles of what must be done or what ought to be done. Ethics is the branch of philosophy which rationally, logically, and critically studies the morality of human action or human acts. So, what is morality? The term morality is taken from the Latin word mor or mos, which also means customs, traditions, practices, beliefs, values, virtues, and guiding principles of one's actions and judgments. So ethics and morality are generally used interchangeably. However, some thinkers and philosophers distinguish the two. For them, ethics deals with actions in general, while morality deals with specific or particular actions. But in this video, I'll be using them interchangeably, the ethical and the moral. And what is a human act or human action? Because if ethics is the study of the morality of human acts, so what is a human act or human action? A human action is an action that is proper to man as a rational being. In other words, these are actions that are conscious, actions with knowledge and awareness of the agent or the doer. It is free, meaning it is not something imposed or coerced to an individual or a person, but this is with consent, meaning the doer or the agent voluntarily, willfully does or decide to take action. And therefore, human acts or human actions are actions that has liability or culpability or accountability. The doer or the agent is responsible and liable of his or her actions and the consequences of her actions or his actions. Human acts are distinguished from acts of man. Acts of man are the contrary of human acts. They are actions that are consequences or products of ignorance, fear, anger, passions, and habit. In other words, they are done without knowledge, without consent, without freedom, without voluntariness. Basically, they are based on instincts. And because they are actions that are not proper to men, but actions that men and animals share or have in common, therefore these actions don't have culpability. In other words, doers of these actions don't have the responsibility or the accountability of the consequences. So that's the difference between human acts and acts of man. Again, ethics is the study of the morality of human acts, not the morality of acts of man, because acts of man are not the concern of ethics or morality. In fact, they don't have any moral implications at all because they are not free, they are without knowledge, they are without consent, and therefore without liability or culpability. Now, we go to the origin of ethics. When or where did ethics come from? I believe and I think that ethics can be viewed in two ways in terms of its origin. One is ethics is something intrinsic to humanity. In other words, it's part of human nature. So by the time an individual is born, with him or her are the standards or norms of morality embedded in his thoughts or in his reason, in his or her feelings or heart. So it's there. meaning it is inevitable for humanity or for a human being not to have these standards. These are like inner measuring sticks or yardsticks embedded in human life. It's within man. It's a built-in system that automatically comes out or pops out whenever one is confronted with actions and with decisions and judgments. So for so long as humanity exists, ethics will always be there. So ethics is as old as humanity. And the other concept or theory is that ethics is something external to humanity. It is something artificial to man. It came later in his or her life. In other words, it's something that is introduced, taught, and imposed to humanity as humanity exists in a family, in a group, in the community, in a religion, or in an institution. So this concept or theory assumes that ethics is something that is a product of convention, a product of the agreement of men and women for the purpose of humanity's survival or sustainability. Because without these laws, without these norms and standards, humanity will not last long. Definitely, humanity will be in a constant crisis and conflict that will dangerously obliterate the existence of humanity itself. So that's why there's a need to create norms and standards. So in this perspective, codes of conduct or ethics is something external to man and artificial to humanity. There's also a very famous theory, which is the divine origin theory of ethics. In other words, ethics comes from the gods or from God, handed over to mankind for man to follow or serve as man's standard or yardstick in his actions and judgments. And history, civilization, has a lot of evidences to this. Every civilization in the world has its own myth of the origin of morality. For example, the Babylonian civilization, they have this god who gave a code of conduct to a man named Hammurabi. So today it's known as the Code of Hammurabi. And then of course in the Judeo-Christian tradition, we have the Bible. And in the Bible, we have the Ten Commandments given to Moses, and of course the prophets, and of course the Messiah, teaching us how to live a virtuous, a moral, and a happy life that merits salvation. So this is a very famous theory of the origin of ethics, the divine origin theory. Thank you for watching and listening. Please click like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you once again, and good day.